Sacramento has this reputation online for being affordable California, and in many ways that's true. But after helping so many families move into Davis, Woodland, and just across the Sacramento region in general, I have realized something. Most people only compare Sacramento to the Bay, well, at least most buyers that I come in contact with. And when you do that, everything looks cheap. But when you actually live here, when you actually start paying the bills and the property tax, utilities, insurance, commuting fees, and all the just day-to-day things, Sacramento reveals a handful of hidden costs that nobody really talks about. So if you're thinking about moving here, you deserve the full picture. So today, I want to walk you through the hidden costs of living in Sacramento. The ones that sneak up on people, the ones my clients always tell me, Danny, wow, I did not budget for that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Lau, your friend in real estate here in Davis, California. If you're thinking about making a move anywhere in Davis, Woodland, or Sacramento in general, I'd love to be your realtor of choice. Okay, let's jump in. Property taxes aren't what you think when people move here from the Bay Area. They often sigh of relief, oh my gosh, our property tax bill went down so much. And that's true, but there is a nuance that catches many newcomers. Special assessments, Mello-Roos, bond taxes, and other little line items attached to your tax bill, depending on the neighborhood. You don't really see these until after the purchase. And in Sacramento County, Elk Grove, Folsom, Natomas, West Sac, or just part of Woodland, these assessments can add hundreds, if not thousands, per year. You'll see a home listed at, say, $650,000 with a, really tempting mortgage estimate on Zillow. But your actual tax bill may be at 1.4% or 1.6% instead of your average 1.2%. Depending on the community. It is not that the taxes are unfair. They usually fund the schools or the parks, the street lightings, flood control, but they just surprise people who didn't expect them. If you're planning a move, make sure you pool the actual tax bill for the property. It is the single biggest recurring payment new homeowners underestimate, the Sacramento heat. That also means higher utility bills than you expect. Here's a fun one that nobody warns you about until you live through your first summer. Sacramento's hot, really hot, like desert hot, not like Bay Area summer hot. Expect 100-degree streaks, sometimes for a week or 2 weeks straight, which means you're running the AC constantly. You're running fans at night, your house is working overtime just to stay livable. PG&E, SMUD, water districts, these all add up. A lot of clients tell me that utilities jump 30% or so higher in the summer compared to what they were expecting in the winter. And if you move to a larger home in Folsom, Elk Grove, and Natomas, you might see your summer power bill pushing $350, $400, unless the home is super energy efficient or coming with solar. It's just something to be aware of. Sacramento's climate is beautiful in general, but it comes with a price tag. Commuting costs can be real, especially if you work in the Bay Area. If you're moving here for remote work, you're fine, congratulations. This is one of the best regions for remote work in the country. But if you're commuting into the Bay once or twice a week, or even just driving across the Sacramento County every day, or using I-80, I-5, or 50 during peak hours, gas, tolls, car maintenance, time, those add up as well. I worked with a family who commuted from Elk Grove to Walnut Creek 2 days a week. Not a whole lot of commuting. They loved Elk Grove, but the cost of gas plus bridge tolls was over $400 or $500 a month. And the time cost was even higher. So even if you're just commuting within the region, say from, Woodland to downtown Sacramento, it can still be 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the time of the day. Sacramento living is fantastic, but we're not immune to the traffic or high California driving costs. So just something to factor into your budget. Insurance isn't cheap anymore. especially fire and flood risk. California has been going through a major insurance market shift. Some carriers pulled out, some raised premiums, some changed their guidelines altogether. Even if Sacramento isn't technically a high fire risk zone, many pockets nearby are. West Sac, part of Natomas, some parts along the river, and all of those factors influence the rates. And then of course there's also flood insurance. If you buy in certain parts of West Sacramento, Natomas, Woodland, or anywhere near the levees, you may need federally mandated flood insurance, which can be $1,000 to $2,000 a year depending on the house and the carrier. Again, nothing wrong with these neighborhoods. Many of them are amazing places to live. But the insurance piece is something newcomers rarely expect. There are still carriers out there actively underwriting at reasonable prices, but those are far and few in between. Landscaping, yard maintenance, and water costs. People love the idea of having a yard when they move from the Bay Area. Finally, space, backyard, maybe a garden. And then they realize Sacramento's climate has expectations. The grass can't survive here without real irrigation. Trees need regular trimming. The lawns, especially in Folsom, Elk Grove, can be really water intensive. And if you're in an older home in, let's say, like Land Park, Curtis Park, or Midtown, the old irrigation system can leak or need replacement. So most homeowners end up paying either $150 to $250 per month for like gardeners or landscapers, and then there's also the high water bill because they're, running the sprinklers a lot. So if you're in these areas, such as Woodland, Davis, winters where summer heat is brutal, it's also about the same. The yards are beautiful, just not cheap. Homeowners Association you didn't expect, and what they actually cover. Sacramento homeowners associations are usually not as intense as, let's say, Southern California or the Bay Area, but there's still a thing, especially with newer developments. What surprised people? HOA here often don't include the perks that people imagine. You may pay like, $60 to $120 a month, and that's on the low side. And it will cover, your average common landscaping, exterior paint sometimes, or community park, or even just a sign at the entrance. If you're in a master plan community, West Sacramento Riverfront, Elk Grove, newer developments, Folsom Ranch, the fees can be higher. And in some Davis communities, like part of South Davis, there are additional association costs tied to the green belts or the pools, so they're not necessarily bad, just a hidden cost that newcomers don't always plan for. California pricing for everyday stuff. People forget that while housing may be cheaper in Sacramento than the Bay Area, everyday California expenses are still the same. Groceries at Nugget Market, amazing quality, but not exactly at bargain prices. If you're going out on a weekend in Midtown, you're still gonna be spending $20 on a cocktail. If you're having brunch in East Sac, same thing. Kids activities, sports clubs, swim teams, after school programs are fantastic here, but again, they're not cheap. And if you go out in places like Folsom or Doco in downtown, you're basically paying Bay Area pricing. Again, not a deal breaker, just part of living in a region that has grown a lot in the past decade. The heat's hitting twin, home wear and tear. So this one is sneaky. Sacramento summer heats ages the home faster. If you think about it, roof, HVAC system, exterior paint, windows, anything that sits in the 100-degree heat for weeks and weeks every single year is working overtime. A lot of folks move here and suddenly realize, oh, I need to do an HVAC tune-up or maybe a replacement. Oh, our roof is aging faster than it would be in the Bay Area. Not like dramatically faster, but faster enough that you probably deal with these big ticket items sooner than expected. The school boundaries shift more than people expected. This matters especially in Elk Grove and Natomas. Because the region is growing, school gets rezoned or expand or capped. Let's say in Davis, the boundaries are stable. In Woodland, mostly stable. Sacramento area, changing a little bit more frequently. Most people don't budget for the cost of private tutoring, test preps, or like extracurricular activities that become the replacement when in school they thought they would be assigned to ends up changing. So it's not like a hidden bill, but definitely a hidden cost in terms of family planning. Sacramento living comes with opportunity costs as well. So this one is a little bit more philosophical, if you would, but important. When people move here, they're often comparing Sacramento to where they came from. But once they settle in, the comparison shifts. Instead of this is cheaper than the Bay, they start comparing Sacramento to, I don't know, Oregon or Idaho, Texas, Colorado. Name one of the many states that Californians move to. And suddenly, Sacramento looks just middle. Not cheap, not expensive, just, mid-shelf. This often leads to people to reconsider what they value the most. Is it space? Is it school? Is it weather, walkability, the community? It is not necessarily a financial cost, but it does come as an emotional and lifestyle cost people just don't anticipate. At the end of the day, Sacramento is an incredible region. I'm raising my family here. I love it here. I believe the Sacramento Valley, Davis, Woodland, Winters, West Sac, Folsom, Elk Grove offer some of the best quality of life in California. But no place is perfect. And if you're going to put down roots, you deserve transparency. If you're thinking about making the move, I'd love to walk you through the neighborhoods. Real numbers and the real little things that you don't see on Zillow or just a Google search. As always, my name is Danny Lau, your friend in real estate here in Davis, California. If you're thinking about making a move anywhere in Davis, Woodland, or Sacramento region in general, I'd love to be a realtor of choice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.